We need more yesterday.
I'm Wes.
I'm Roderick.
And we'd like to welcome you guys to Kicking It Country. So thanks for everyone tuning in. But today we have a really special guest here with us today. None other than Mr. Myrtis Dightman Jr., our Prairie trail riding boss, the man that gets us down the trail safely every year for the Houston rodeo. So we'd like to say thank you, Mr. Dightman, for tuning in with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me out to be able to talk on behalf of the Prairie Trail Riders Association.
All right, so what we always lead with, our question.
So, Mrs. Dightman, what we want to know is, what is your definition of country?
Well, I guess I would start this way, is I was country when country wasn't cool. The reason I say that because I grew up in the country,
Okay.
and when I'm saying that, I grew up on a farm, on a ranch, where we had to raise our own animals to eat. What I'm saying is, so like a cow, pigs, chicken, those farm things that we did in the fall of each year to be able to eat in the wintertime, to carry us through the wintertime. And so I would say when you had to get up and feed cows, and feed chickens and hogs, then you country.
Right. And where is this from?
Crockett, Texas.
Crockett, Texas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely.
And so how did you get into the trail ride?
Well, I was born into it. What I'm saying, at 2 years old, my dad, Myrtis Dightman Sr., and Mr. James Francis, believe it or not, was best friends. They was, when I say they was friends, they was best of friends. And so my dad would always take me to Mr. Francis' house, and I would stay with Mr. Francis while my dad and Mr. Francis was rodeoing at the time.
Okay.
They both was professional rodeo people. A lot of people didn't know Mr. Francis rode bull along with my dad. But Mr. Francis had it was something very special about him identifying people in his life that he knew was going to the next level.
Yeah.
He just had that in him. And if anybody would know Mr. Francis, he would always look. If you're in a trail ride that you've been on with Mr. Francis, he would always be to himself and he'd just be observing. And so that's, to me, is very special. You know, he don't talk a lot, but he knows, and then he'll take you to the next level. And so that's how I started, actually with the trail ride with my dad and Mr. Francis and family.
Okay. And how long has the Prairie Trail Ride Association been around?
This year will be 6 to 8 years, actually. With the COVID, when 69 and the 1 year we didn't ride, would have been 70 years.
Oh, wow.
So we're knocking on the door of 70 years for sure. So this is 6 to 8 years of trail riding with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
And where do you see trail riding going, like the present and the future of trail riding?
Well, because I would say the association that affiliated with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, as we go as they go. Yeah. So they kind of like predict, their whole philosophy is about the youth. And so as long as I believe we can continue educating, teaching the youth, and then teaching about our heritage, which is cowboys. When they say cowboys, because probably you were raised on a farm. Most of everybody that's trail riding, it's come from their family somewhere. You can rest assured somebody in the family was a cowboy, was a trail rider, and so the people that's on now that continue doing it, that's in their heart.
Okay, now that you mentioned the fact that it comes from somebody, could you let everybody know that's somebody that you came from?
Okay. He's saying.
Don't be bad.
Okay.
Don't be bad.
Well, let me start it with Mr. Francis, and my dad was going to rodeos, Myrtis Dightman Sr. And so my dad was a bull fighter before he was actually a bull rider.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And so he would fight bulls, and so, of course Mr. Francis was observing, sitting back looking, saying like, yeah, wow. So one day he approached my dad and said, Myrtis, you can ride bulls. And my dad said, I don't think so. He said, yeah, Myrtis, you can ride bulls. So the next rodeo they went to, it was black rodeos at the time, He talked my dad into getting on the bull, Mr. Francis. And so once my dad got on the bull, and he rode the first bull, really? and he got paid. You know what I'm saying? So most important thing, that's what he would like to pay. He would say, "Where can you go and win the amount of money I win for 8 seconds and have no boss?" And that's how he looked at it. You know, he would love it. But actually, Mr. Francis is the one that I would give all the praises to, because if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be no Myrtis Dightman.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So,
okay.
Tell everybody what your dad is identified as.
Well, now, he's called the Jackie Robinson of rodeo because he was the first black to qualify for National Final Rodeo. National Finals, they call it, is the Super Bowl of rodeos. And that's the rodeo. And so he qualified in 1964. In 68, he was the #1 cowboy in the world. Wow. He went into the finals, the #1 cowboy. But a lot of people didn't know he was black because of his name. And they didn't know back in the days, they didn't have newspaper articles, you know what I'm saying? They didn't, not like, with a lot of video, it wasn't no video like it is now. Sure. And so they didn't know he was a black man until when they went to that finals, they really felt like, oh no, we can't let this man win no national finals. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Really, I mean, a lot of people did that. They did not know. Really? He was behind the scene. Yeah. He was rodeoing in the slack. What they call slack is, most time they do it in the daytime, early before the rodeo, or they would do it after the rodeo is over with. So my dad was always in the slack, and he was winning in the slack. And so that's how then once they realized that somebody's winning this rodeo, a lot of people didn't know, and somebody who is winning this rodeos, and y'all depriving us from seeing who's winning this rodeo. Yes. And when they really found out who were in, they was all shocked. But as my dad say, I mean, he just like the next man. I put my pants on one leg at a time. Yeah. And we all do the same thing, and we got the same color blood, no matter what. And that bull don't have no colors. He don't know no colors. He don't know what color you is. all he wants you is off of his back. Right. Yeah, you know. And so he went on. But I could truly say that the type of man my father were, he was no troublemaker. And he was loved by all. Once he got out there, and then the white people's for sure, the cowboys, after they were amazed on how he was I would say not Jackie Robinson, but Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan of basketball was a superstar. My dad was the same way in the rodeo. He was a superstar. He was when they know he was coming to rodeo, people filled the stadium just to see Myrtis Dightman ride because he was gonna perform, and that's what he did. He performed for the people, and he won most of the time.
And who was the person that gave him a phone call?
That phone call, Jackie Robinson, it was 20 years exactly that my father, Jackie Robinson, was the first to go into baseball, first black, and 20 years later, my father was the first black to qualify for the national finals. So Jackie Robinson, he called the Pro Rodeo Association to congratulate him.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about these wonderful hats that we have on the table here.
Okay, well, my dad, after he finished rodeo, he went to work for American Hat. American Hat at the time was here in Houston, in downtown Houston. And so my father went to work for them, and then they came up and said, "Hey, Myrtis, we want to make a hat for you." And he said, "Okay." And so they did. They made a hat for him, but my dad is kind of like a quiet. He never was the one that got involved into too much. You know, he's a behind the scene man. Yeah. He's not. You'll never know that he was Jackie Robinson rodeo. I'm just saying, you know, he's just that type of guy. And so I took it on a few years later. Not later. After I grew up, to see that my daddy didn't have an education. He couldn't read or write, and to me, and then that kind of bothered me. Like, wow, how can this man do all this and couldn't read or write? You know, and I mean, he made movies. He was in movies, and he did his own sketch. You know, so, but he was just amazing to that he would be able to pick up. So I took on the hat line, and this actually going to be the first year we're going to really launch the Myrtis Dightman signature hat.
Nice. And how many colors are?
We have one I'm wearing is a palm leaf. It's a palm leaf. It's a 100X they call palm leaf, which is a real popular hat. What I'm saying, because you can wear it year round. It's a very durable hat because in the rain you won't mess it up. You won't bend this hat up, you know, because you can automatically shape it back up. Then we have the black felt, which is a very popular, most always black. It's a 6X, and hats all his hats his signature inside of each one of the hats. Then we have the silver belly and the brown, and we do have a great one that we are actually coming out, and we're doing a video as we speak now, getting ready to launch the Myrtis Dightman signature hats.
Oh, nice. All right, we'd like to thank you for coming in, Mr. Dightman.
Before that. Well, I have family in East Texas, and what a lot of people don't know that every year in September they have what?
Myrtis Dightman annual rodeo. So we've been doing it for 35 years. We converted over to a youth rodeo now in the last 5 years, and the youth that come to our rodeo qualify for the National Finals Rodeo. So they got a junior National Finals in Vegas the first week. So those kids go first. So now they're making money. Versus when we was coming up in rodeo, I paid $25 to get on a bull. I may make $100. You know what I'm saying? But these kids now they can make $10,000, $20,000 just for going to Las Vegas and placing first, second, third, or whatever it may be. So which is a great thing for the youth, and if they would all start participating or try to participate in these rodeos, because they have them all around Texas. And then the best cowboys are the young kids that qualify. They take the top 15, and that's money winning. And the rodeos that they participate in, and they go on to Vegas to win some real money. I think the purse this year is $1 million. Wow. For the kids. Wow. So that's fantastic, and we got some kids out of Texas. Trust me, that's going into that's made it to the national finals. For sure.
All right, we'd like to thank Mr. Myrtis Dightman again for coming, kicking it country with us today. I'm Wes.
I'm Roderick.
Until next time, see you guys.